Yeah, we hold Billy too there. Okay, Bill,
Ladies and gentlemen, please hold it quiet.
Okay, that's the shot.
Thank you for ripping a ticket to another installment of Hellhound Film Club. I'm your host, Cody Pope, and this is my co-host,
Danny Dimes.
And as we truly are every time we do this, we're thrilled to introduce tonight's panel and special feature. Joining the panel tonight, another longtime friend of the show. You can find her sometimes serving as a creative assistant at Dimes Media. She's also a frequent New England concert traveler. Please welcome our friend, Jessica Cantwell. That was the part where you took. There we go. We'll get there one week. Next to the panel tonight, from episode 1 of the revival of Hellhound Film Club, along with many other episodes since then, a freestyle artist, personal stylist, and owner of Infinite Encounters Oracle. Please welcome our friend, Elliot Universe. And in the background, she wanted to lay low in the cut. She's an advocate for animals, veterans, and humanity alike. With her numerous efforts and fundraisers within the community, and jointly a lifelong music and movie fan, please welcome the return of our dear friend, Samantha Ann Claire.
Might be hiding in the back, but very important to Film Club.
Absolutely.
And as always, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We're grateful to be here for another special installment of Hellhound Film Club. But before we get too deep, first things first, as always tonight, we are live from the spot in downtown Nashua, New Hampshire.
One of New Hampshire's first dry bars and Gate City's most interesting entertainment lounges, featuring a delicious selection of premium ingredient mocktails, coffee, kava, and more. In addition to the late night menu, available now courtesy of the one and only, a Nashua, New Hampshire staple, Joanne's Kitchen.
I love their food every week, my man.
Amen.
Yeah, and you can check us out here for Hellhound Film Club live, free movie night and podcast recording every Wednesday night here at 217 Main Street, Nashua, New Hampshire, when the doors open at 7 p.m.
An exciting reminder for those catching up on the episodes, we're pulling 2 random winners before the end of each episode. One commenter from last week's main video is going to receive a prize as long as they claim it within 24 hours. And then one random attendee of our live recording sessions is going to win a prize each week as well. So comment on the videos and show up in person if you're local. Double your chances to win a prize. Wow, stumbled that one.
Aha, I'm rubbing off. Shout out to last week's winners. Stay tuned till the end of the episode to find out who our in-person winner for this week will be, as well as our YouTube comment winner from last week's video.
Now, for our conversation tonight, we're examining a movie that is an adaptation of a beloved radio play that was adapted into a beloved novel, into a series, into a television program. Naturally, this had many people apprehensive and concerned upon its initial announcement. However, it quickly garnered steadfast recognition through the years. Tonight, we discuss a lesser discussed, but highly praised science fiction comedy, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, released theatrically in the United States on April 29th, 2005.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a science fiction comedy directed by Garth Jennings and adapted from the international multimedia phenomenon that started back in 1978 by franchise creator Douglas Adams as a radio program from 1978 to 1980, before being adapted into the more widely distributed format such as the book series, TV series, a video game, stage show, and of course, the film adaptation, which we are covering tonight.
The film boasts an incredible cast of talent, including Martin Freeman, Sam Rockwell, Yassine Bey, credited then as Mos Def, Zooey Deschanel, Bill Nighy, Anna Chancellor, and the legendary, the iconic John Malkovich, along with the voices of Stephen Fry, Helen Mirren, Richard Griffiths, Thomas Lennon, Ian McNeice, and another iconic legend, the one and only, rest in peace, the late Alan Rickman. Franchise creator Douglas Adams co-wrote the screenplay with Carrie Kirkpatrick, and subsequently the film is dedicated to Adams, who sadly passed away in 2001 before production began. In Hitchhiker's Guide, Arthur Dent, played by Martin Freeman, discovers that his house is to be immediately demolished to make way for a bypass. He tries delaying the bulldozers by laying down in front of them. However, Arthur's friend, Ford Prefect, played by Yassine Bey, known then as Mos Def, convinces him to go to the nearby pub. While there, Ford explains that he's an alien from the vicinity of Betelgeuse and a journalist working on The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a universal guidebook. Ford warns that the Earth is to be demolished later that day by the extraterrestrial Vogons to make way for a hyperspace bypass. So this was a fun one to go back to. I know we all kind of have different experiences with it, so I think, Film Club standard is, when was the first time you saw this, and when was the last time you saw this?
You're gonna kill me, but I think the first time I saw it was the last time I saw it.
That's fair.
Probably about 15 years ago.
Okay.
I would say, yeah, right. Yeah, it was definitely. I moved back up here in 11, and it was when I was still living in Florida. So I would say definitely like 08, 09, somewhere in that range.
Okay, so just like a few years after it came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jess, what about you? Was this a first time for you?
I was today years old.
She was today years old. I love that.
Like a lot of the movies.
All right. Well, since you got the mic, how was this for your first time watching it?
I loved it. It was cute. It was funny. I had definitely a lot of really famous and well-known voices and actors in it. So it was really enjoyable.
Were you familiar with the franchise prior to seeing this, or was this all kind of a first?
It was, yeah. It's all new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Elliot, what about you? When was the first time you saw this?
The first time I saw it was also the last time I saw it. And funny enough, I was also in Florida, but I did not live there. I was 18 and I was visiting my friend Pookie for like 2.5 weeks. And I was in the spare bedroom just trying to chill out, had the TV on, and it came on, and I sat and I watched it. I saw it in bits and pieces and was on TV since then, but this is the first time I've seen it in its entirety since.
Oh, nice. Well, then same question. How was this for you being able to see it in whole now?
It was well timed. I needed a little touch with British culture again.
Yeah.
And synchronized with some stuff that's been going on with me mentally. So it just made me happy.
I love that. Danny, how was this for you this time rewatching it after having kind of seen it later in life?
So I just gotta be honest on this. I now remember why this was the first and last time that I watched this. I forgot how almost absurd the comedy is in this. And I actually forgot how great Mos Def was in this. Too. I really did forget that. I'm not gonna lie. I hate to admit it, but
why would you hate to admit it?
Well, no, that I almost that I basically didn't watch a movie again because the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, I saw it, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now rewatching this, I was like, man, that was really a great performance by this individual, great performance by this individual. Oh, the comedy is exactly what the comedy is supposed to be.
Yeah.
British humor tends to be a lot drier of a type of humor.
Yeah, when you said absurd, that's exactly how I was describing it in my head, is this is very absurdist humor.
All right. I'm either going to get kicked in the nuts for this or I'm going to get cheered for this. But to be honest with you, this felt like the the 2000s Spaceballs.
Interesting.
Like how absurd the comedy was.
Yeah,
Like it was that Spaceballs comedy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, can anybody hit a shot? Like, are you kidding me? Were those stormtroopers? Like, they couldn't hit a single shot. Like, that's what the absurd comedy that I'm like speaking of, because it's like, you know, obviously when this movie was filmed, like Star Wars was well out by that point, but we all know a stormtrooper can't hit a shot, and like they couldn't hit a shot for the life of them. It was just hysterical, like the absurdity. And ironically, like at first I was kind of like, all right, I've seen this. I kind of know what it made me feel like before.
Yeah.
But rewatching it this time, I actually enjoyed it more. I actually enjoyed the comedy a lot more. I enjoyed the story more.
Yeah.
So I feel like the rewatch was almost like a revisit to the whole movie over again. Like, I know when it comes to British movies, I tend not to have very open-minded because I tend not to like a lot of British comedy. So first time I may have watched it was maybe already, I had a preset notion on what I was expecting and then kind of like shunned it off from there.
Do you have an example of like a British film or TV show that
I have a clear one, and this will end this podcast between me and you, and I will no longer co-host this. I absolutely hate Mighty Python and the Holy Grail.
Well, that's it.
Lost the whole British audience on this
I
podcast.
know,
That's okay.
seriously.
That's fine.
Wow.
Everybody's allowed their own personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yep, that's an opinion to have for sure.
I do not think it's funny in any shape or form. I know. It's okay.
I know we can't even make edits to this either. So you just have
no
to,
edits.
Wow.
You asked the question, you got the answer.
Yeah. Jeez, that was heavy.
Yep.
Feel like-
I knew when you were gonna ask me if there was a movie of it. I already had it in my mind, so it was ready to go.
Yeah. Well, that's such is life, I guess. Say that again.
He needs to watch the Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah, I would. I don't know what. I'm at a loss for words, honestly. I mean, what? Yeah. What do you say?
He doesn't have any words to say anymore.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, those are so good. I didn't realize that's what it was called.
I think the only thing that ties them together is that there's a Cornetto in each of the movies.
That's fair.
Which is nice.
Man, I know,
that just sent me so far off track. Holy shit.
That
right,
was a wrench in your gear you weren't expecting, huh?
Yeah, not at all. Wow. Okay. So Jess, let me ask you, since this was your first time watching this tonight, what was your favorite acting performance in this?
1000%. It was Alan Rickman. Like,
oh my gosh,
he's just so phenomenal.
That.
And this whole like little depressed robot, it just cracked me up every time. He's like, I tell you guys about this, but you don't want to hear it. It's just so nobody cares.
I know,
like
it really is like
so funny.
Really is so perfect. Elliot, what about you? What would you say your favorite acting performance was?
I mean, I'm a sucker for Martin Freeman.
Yeah, no, I think that was like superbly well done for what it was asking for.
I think he's perfect for the character of Arthur too, honestly.
Yeah.
He is the character.
There was little things that I loved too, like going back to like the British humor thing, where like at one point he said something about like he was like I'm British, we got a cue really well, and just things like that. Not like we would all just say line up really well, and I was like, oh, that's so funny. I like what did I hate this guy. This podcast is done after this. What was your favorite role in this? Let me guess, you hated this whole movie too?
No, I already said. I came back and forgot how great Mos Def was in this, and how much I really enjoyed it. Like, I also did say, like, I watched it with a closed mind the first time because it was British comedy, and I said I rewatched it more with an open mind this time. So, like, no, I didn't hate the whole movie.
No, Most Def was definitely the reason that I saw it the first time, for sure. It was very much like one of my favorite rappers is in a movie. Let me check this out. But I definitely did not have the I didn't have like the wherewithal or like the depth of knowledge to really appreciate the humor the first time around, because I literally saw it in theaters, and I like feel horrible to admit this, but it's one of the few movies that I've ever walked out on in my life, because in 2005 I was 15 maybe. So all I cared about was like punk rock and hardcore and rap music and like music shit in general. And at that time, like I like Monty Python, but it did take me like I grew up with a friend whose dad like put us onto it. And so like at first I was like, what is this, bro? Like I don't get this. But then as I got older, I really like found an appreciation for it. And when I go back now, I laugh more watching it now because I understand the context of the jokes and stuff like that. Did you want to jump in?
It just reminded me of something. My childhood friend and recently reconnected friend Delenn, her granddad is from Britain. So I actually grew up with someone who really appreciated British humor as a child and that absurdist stuff. And you're talking about how you were 15 and you just kind of walked out. My friend tried to get me to watch Monty Python and so many different British humors, and I had no attention span whatsoever for it when I was little. So I completely understand where you're coming from. And now I'm like, oh no, I like this slow pace. I like the absurd humor, because the only thing that really gets me going now is completely absurd things. It's just funny, and I found it relatable.
Right. And so after I like left the movie, I can remember telling people I knew, being like, yo, I was so excited to go see this. I can't believe, like, I had no idea what was going on. Like, I was so confused. And I was so grateful that I had a friend who was older than me. And we played music together and shit like that. But he was just like smarter than me in general. And he was like the one who put me on to like, yo, he didn't know it was a radio program, but he was like, it's a book, right? And I was like, no, I had no idea. And so eventually I got my hands on the book and I read the book, and that really like put it into perspective. And then like finding out that it was like from the 70s, you know what I mean? Like that like helped me translate it at that age. And so then I saw it again within like a few years of that, and it all clicked. And I was like, oh, this is like brilliant. Like it's not a perfect adaptation, but I also don't think it could be in reality. And even now, like knowing the timing of the creator's passing and how long he had tried to get this in motion beforehand, it's hard to look back at this and not like really, there's so much to appreciate in this now. Like each time, like I get more enjoyment each time that I watch it, and I find things that I'm like, oh, like I connect to this more than I realized even the last time that I watched it. I've probably seen it, I would say, between 3 to 5 times in my life, which might be a lot for most people, but for the way I watch movies, that's not a lot.
That's a month for you usually.
I know, for real. So
I know once you get that copy, those centers, you're gonna watch it like 15 times in the first week.
Yeah, dude, without a doubt. I'm waiting to get that until I get my sound system right. That's like, I don't want to watch that movie through my like TV speakers, but that's some whole other shit I might need your help for if we're still friends after this.
If we're still friends after this, we'll see. I don't even know if I'm invited to Rhode Island tomorrow at this point.
We'll see. That'll have been last week by the time anybody sees this. So who knows if you went?
Well, they'll know by Monday if I'm not on the podcast.
Yeah, that's true. All access removed. But
this is Hellhound Film Club by CODY Pope, no longer with the co-host.
Yeah.
The ghost of Danny Dimes.
I'll be like, we're going to take a moment of silence. We never had this on the show before, so now we have it. Now we do one every episode in memoriam of Danny.
My
but
tombstone
here's
just
the
reads,
thing.
here's his hatred of British comedy.
We can disagree on stuff. I can roast you. I know
Absolutely.
you'll accept it. It's the people on the sidewalk that you got to be worried about.
I'm okay with
I
that.
would just keep one eye open at night. That's just because I care for you as a friend.
I promise I will not go across the pond now.
I'm not bringing Danny on the UK tour. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. No fish and chips for me.
I was gonna say he
Not
loves
only-
fish and chips.
Not
I
only
love
is,
fish and
not
chips.
only is Kanye West banned from the United Kingdom, but so is Danny Dimes now. Way to go. Way to go,
I'm not
man.
sure if I'm happy that my name's in the same sentence as Kanye West or not, but I
Yeah,
guess
no.
I'll take
Yeah,
it.
not for that reason.
No.
So 2005, right? Weird time in technology, weird time with the access of computers and stuff like that. We were all probably on like Instant Messenger or AOL or MySpace or something to that effect. And so obviously if you look back at a lot of movies from like say 2000 to 2009, there's some really rough CGI usage. And I think this movie was right in the middle of the development of that technology. And so I'm interested to kind of know what is like the thing that stood out to you most visually in a positive sense first. Guys, dead air is bad for the podcast,
I know,
by the way.
but I would have to say the costume design of the Vogons,
The
Vogons, like for a movie that I felt didn't have like a super huge budget, I felt like they really put like quite a bit into like the facial design of the character.
Yeah.
And I would have to say visually, that was like really nice, like really cool to see, because like you said, like the CGI and things like that, but it seemed like they put a lot to like, because I felt like that was the focus of like the bad guy, I guess I want to say.
Yeah.
And I feel like they put like quite a bit into making that character look good enough to be hated, if that makes sense.
That's fair. What about you, Jess?
Ooh, I don't really know how to answer this. It's funny that Danny brings up those the alien guys, Vogan. Because I thought like when they were falling and stuff and they had like a background, you could kind of look over them falling. They all kind of look like little, like their outfits look like slippery pillows. So it was like, that's really funny that you brought that up, because that's immediately where my head went. But even just looking at the landscaping and, you know, the what is that? The CGI or
Yeah.
It immediately, as I was watching it, I was like, wait, what year was this again? And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I now remember this. I was actually in high school when this came out.
Same.
Yeah, I was a junior. in
Yeah,
high school.
I think I was a sophomore,
Yeah.
so that makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, it definitely. I thought it was like a good quality for back then. Yes, we're well aware you're old. I thought it was decent quality for back then. You know, it's not this level now, but it's
Yeah.
also not like, you know, back
There's
then.
highs and lows.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. For sure.
Is there anything that stood out to you?
I mean, everything, but the set design, especially like the backgrounds and like the color theory of all of it and how it fit the different stuff. Like you look at the Vogan, everything's square, everything's dark and dank
Lots of neutrals.
because of that whole, I can't think of the word, but set in having to do everything this way, the paperwork, all that crap. And then you got Arthur Dent, he's got his like big open field, like of hopes and dreams, like possibilities are endless type shit going on. And just even the color of his robes, the color of Ford's like bright colors, I don't know how to put it into words, but those are the things that stand out to me. And even with it being CGI 2005, like I don't remember details like that. I think it all holds up to today and
Yeah.
looks better than some stuff that's still put out to this day, honestly.
That's very true. That I like that you said that, because that kind of led to my point, which was there's highs and lows that I could comment on, but if you asked me what my favorite thing visually is Marvin. I just think that the design of which it's crazy to because you were talking to this off air, that it's Warwick Davis in a costume. So like the design of the costume looks 80s, but also looks timeless at the same time. Whereas like I kept thinking like I want one of those like in the corner of my apartment somewhere, just on display, like a life-size one. I just want like it could be a plushy one that I could hug like that. It could be a plastic one that I just like have sit and look at me. But the design is just so timeless and so cool looking. And of course, I'm sure I'm biased that I want Alan Rickman's voice programmed into it. But I just thought that that was one of the most impressive things, because to get that out of and obviously there was other adaptations of it that you could technically take from, but I feel like they kind of made that very, very insular to the movie universe, if you will.
So, one of our last episodes, we were talking about our Existence episode. We were talking about The Matrix, which was released in '99.
Yeah.
So, like CGI, a certain level of CGI had been like created by then.
Yeah.
But I feel like this type of CGI fit this movie.
I agree. It was tastefully used. It wasn't too exorbitant for something that could have been crazier.
I just think if you would have went with like Matrix CGI level, like it would not have fit the movie correctly and made it would have gave it a different feel.
It would have made it seem like it was taking itself too seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Where I think the absurdity of the comedy matches like the kind of the absurdity of the CGI. That kind of
a cartoonish feel.
Correct.
Yeah.
Where I felt like that fit the vibe. So like I'm super glad that they didn't go over the top with like CGI or like I thought like for like over the top like part was like the console inside of the spaceship with the 976 buttons on it.
But even at that, dude, going to his point about like the color design and stuff, that main button on the console, and it had like this like solar system looking like thing around it. It was like that was very intentional to make that thing look like a magic button kind of thing. And I thought that was cool because it could have just been bright red.
You know what it looked like to me? It looked like a saucer plate with a teacup flipped upside down.
That's
The entire British audience.
I know. Loses the whole British audience and cracks himself up.
I do that a lot. No, I just thought that like it went with like the whole British theme. That's all. Like, because
Well, now we don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
why? I thought it was like part of like the comedy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that it is intrinsically British without a doubt.
Right. I thought it was like part of the comedy. That's why I
Yeah.
found it funny.
Yeah.
Originally, like when watching the movie, I found it like every time they would hit it, I just thought it was funny because I'm like, it's like tea time.
I know, and it was wild too. Like some of the transitions to stuff, like those were the things where you could tell that the CGI limitation was being reached when they would be like doing the space travel kind of stuff. But then you would see when they would change shape, like when they would change their like into like the flat, whatever, you know what I mean? That looked really cool. Like you would just see in space, it would be like, oh, flower, food, spaceship, light. And so it's like, it's interesting which things utilized the most like technological capacity and which things were like seemingly much more capable.
You're missing the most important scene with the whale and the pot of flowers, though.
That's true.
I think that was the extent of their budget for CGI.
that was probably the heaviest scene to do for sure.
That's the yarn.
The yarn, the dolphins. That's why I love the beginning so much, because it's one of those things where it's like, if you make it through the first like 7 minutes, you're rocking with us. But that's going to be the most challenging time to get somebody into this movie. Is like, you're like, dude, this movie's hilarious. Check this out. It's a classic, dude. You're going to love it. It's a 20-year gem, blah, blah, blah. And then you sit down and it's fucking little box square with dolphins jumping through and like Discovery Channel Planet Earth narration and shit. And it's like, man, it's like,
Thank you for the fish.
Yeah. But it's like one of those things where it's like, if the most serious person gets through that part, the rest of it is such a fun ride.
I will have to agree with you. If you can get through that first like 10 minutes of the movie, you can get through the rest of it.
Right.
Because the beginning of the movie, definitely, like I said, watching it again was like, what am I watching?
Right.
What am I doing right now?
I'm going to go back a bit. So, Danny, if you're down to scroll back a little bit with me, I'm going to do some reporting live in the field.
Reporting live in the field. I'm with you.
I'm here live in the field with our good friend Samantha. Samantha, do you remember what it was like the first time that you watched this movie? And do you remember when that was?
It was a long time ago because I'm old, and I do remember it. And you know what, Danny?
What's that?
British humor rules because we got big teeth. So there.
And that's why I don't find it funny, because I don't have teeth.
Damn.
It was a long time ago that I saw this, and I have to admit the opening part of it, the opening part was very confusing, and then I kind of wish I had read the book. I really kind of wish, and I did read it after the fact, but the beginning part of it was like, what am I watching, and why am I not stoned right now? You know, it's like, or maybe I am. I don't know. But watching it again after all these years, it's brilliant. I'm sorry, it's absolutely brilliant. The whole scene with the whale.
Yes.
Where am I here? Why am I there? What am I doing? I'm just like, it was brilliant. I was like, it's absolutely brilliant. The pansies flying around too. I mean, come on, that's just like classic. And then even someone just the humor too. So he's got two heads. What else does he have two of? You know, it was just like, I love it. I'm sorry, I had that kind of humor.
Oh, I love that. That makes my day. So, because you watched The Outsiders with us, so we've obviously talked about, much like myself, you have a pretty extensive knowledge of film history, and you enjoy going back in the archives as well as seeing what's coming up now. Was there anything visually that like stands out to you the most in this, that kind of like stays with you in terms of that time period compared to other movies?
Actually, it's a really good question to think about it. When they were in the spaceship, when everything was white, I thought that was kind of an interesting thing, like with Zoe and stuff like that. I'm just trying to think of visually wise. You brought up Spaceballs. I'm sorry, Spaceballs has a lot similar to it. But I just thought that some of the things were really clever, like the part when Zoe does put her face into the thing, and I'm thinking about this, and up pops the the little muffin or whatever it was that she was thinking about. But visually wise, for the time, I thought it was fantastic. I mean, obviously nowadays we're seeing stuff that's just far more superior, but the cleverness of it too is just, I mean, the humor is great, Danny.
Well, I heard that there's a job opening for Hellhound Film Club for a co-host position.
That's true.
So,
Hi, my name is Samantha Claire, and I would like to apply.
You're hired. Welcome to the network. All right, my last question from the field before I head back to the camera, since you do have some knowledge in the field, do you have any favorites or any recommended British comedies, whether TV or film?
Well, Peaky Blinders right now is just classic. It really is. I'm a huge Monty Python fan, so I just go straight back to that. And then I'm having a brain dead moment right now with the two ladies that are always drinking. What was the name of that show? You know which one I'm talking about? Yeah, and I mean that humor is the same thing too, where it's dry, it's almost absurd. I love that word when you guys use an absurd, because that's exactly going to describe British humor like that. But yeah, it's Monty Python 100%. It really is.
Yeah. You're definitely not wrong. Danny, will you do me a favor? Will you smash the applause button one time? Let's give it up for Sam in the field here.
No, I got you.
So we weren't even too far.
I got you on camera.
Yeah. Hell
What kind of
yeah.
videographer do you think I am? What kind of producer do you think I am?
Dude, this show started on a webcam. Back in my day, we used to have to plug in a USB cable to do this
Right.
do this program.
And now
Thank
you just
you.
fired your guy.
So
And hold on, I want to bring this up because you know what? There is British comedy, like British stuff that I do enjoy because I love Guy Ritchie. I love
Okay,
Lock,
hell
Stock,
yeah.
and Two Barrel. I love Reservoir Dogs, Snatch. Like I like.
Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, sorry. I'm on my own little tangent right now because I'm trying to defend myself. Sorry, I apologize.
Now,
about
now
that
you got the
mistake.
Tarantino fans
Yep,
coming after us.
I got them.
Oh.
I'm on a tear. But no, like
need to be
Lock, Stock,
careful walking
The
out to my car
Gentleman.
tonight.
The Gentleman was great. It's an absolute. Yes, The Gentleman is good and talks a lot about weed. So
Yeah. Oh, you guys brought this up before on another episode. I
on the
remember.
420 marathon episode,
Okay.
because we were debating on whether or not it was a weed,
yeah.
whether it was a cannabis movie or a cannabis adjacent, but you hadn't seen it yet,
Yeah,
so you couldn't actually give us a definitive answer.
that's right. You got to remind me off air to go and watch that at some point.
Oh, I already told you if I'm around and I force you to watch it, we're Patreon in it
That would be fun.
because we're gonna get high as fuck and watch that shit.
His eyes just crossed when he said that.
Right.
Well, I mean, the bud I smoke crosses your eyes, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Which, speaking of, if you're a cannabis consumer, feel free to check out our 420 movie marathon watch episode. You can get all of the great movies and all of the great essentials to have your at-home movie viewing be one of the best. Which movie viewing brings me to my next question. This was somewhat of a popular question when we started the show, and as the show progressed, we kind of moved away from it because we were kind of getting the same answer for a while. But I'm interested to bring this one back for a number of reasons. If you were seeing this for the first time, what would be your preferred viewing method of seeing this for the first time?
I would have to say, just because I feel like it goes with the theme, you'd have to be in the theater, like mystery science, like 3000, like kind of like style. Like I just feel like this is also like one of those to see in a theater. Like it would be great just to chill and smoke with friends and see it at home. But
Yeah.
for some reason, I think the absurdity has to be seen on a big screen to really appreciate the movie as a whole.
Yeah,
That's just me personally.
I could dig that. What about you, Jess? How do you feel like would be perfect time for somebody to see this for the first time?
I personally think at home. I'm glad I saw it for the first time here. But I don't think I would have enjoyed watching it in the movie theater. I think I might have had the same experience as you. So I think like just on my couch watching at home and, in my blanket and just kind of chilling and, laughing at it and eat my snacks.
I could dig that. I feel like that the only reason that I can understand that is because and maybe it's like maybe for us, like it's our age into when it came out, but it's like and I wish I had a better way to say this because I don't mean to sound like fucked up because I'm talking about myself, but like I wasn't like intelligent enough to understand how funny it was when it came out, so I didn't appreciate seeing it in a theater. Seeing it at home, you're not going to be embarrassed by whatever you laugh at and don't laugh at or like understand, you know what I mean? So it's like I could see why that would be a good comfortable first place to see it if you like didn't have any familiarity with the all around like the writing, the history, the franchise, whatever it was. So you know, like I think I lean more towards how you feel, but I get how you feel because it was so seldom in my life that I had an experience. Like even if I don't like a movie, I can usually like barrel through it. That was the first time that I was like challenged to it. Like I felt dumb and I was like, what do I not get? Like what is happening? You know what I mean? And then I went back and like read the book and like realized that like, oh, so much of this is like contextual because they're trying to tell you, you know, it's like when they talk about the president, it's so hard to not laugh when they're talking about the president like wanting to be famous and like looking to like wield his power and like not knowing the shit that he like signs and put his name. It's like, oh, weird how 20 plus years later that's still relevant, you know? Like there was just a lot of no, I think they're on our side about that.
I'm pretty sure that
I think they dig us for that one. I'm saving us. I'm saving this tea party, god damn it. Everything I got in my holy grail.
Don't bring up tea around them.
Oh my god, Jenny. I think that this is actually kind of the perfect setting. This or like a movie night at home, but with
I love that.
Because you could watch it at home, sure, be cozy. You could go to the movies, but then you can't laugh and joke around as much. But here, like, if I wanted to tap you on the back or make a random joke while we're watching, we're good. That's the environment. I think it's perfect for something like this where you might want to, you know, do that.
I love that. I think that's a great answer, is watching this with a group
Sam,
of
you have
friends.
competition for my job. Apparently, Elliot's trying to take it now.
What? This is news to me.
No, Elliot just wants a permanent panel seat, and that's fine. He can have it at this point. I think that there's eventually we'll have like 20 to 30 people here, and we'll have like 5 panel seats for like all of us that have been down when there was just a handful of us here, you know?
Oh, I thought we were just gonna bring out the boxing gloves.
I have some
We
at home.
Okay, we'll start boxing.
Bring out the sumo suits.
We'll start boxing for panel seats on our podcast that gets 64 views an episode if we're lucky.
And don't forget to catch the behind the scene episodes of those boxing matches.
I'm already prepared. I have a pair of kickboxing gloves at home.
I said boxing. He's bringing in the kickboxing.
That boy said I got kickboxing.
He's like,
at
I'm bringing
home
in
already."
feet, knees, the whole 9 yards. Let's go.
Damn, I know. Get me involved. Can I fight for a co-host spot?
We're just gonna go full MMA on this now.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna choke each other out for a
Bro.
spot in the panel.
I'm gonna move the table and I'm gonna run between
Yo,
seats.
speaking of MMA,
I'm gonna still split all the dialogue, but I'm gonna do it in 2 different voices. And I'll be like, yo, what's up? This is Cody Pope, and this is my co-host. I'm Cody Pope as well. We're here to bring it to you live from the motherfucking film club.
you know it's funny that you're talking about split voices and shit. I sent you a video. You got to check it out. They swapped the commentary between golf and MMA.
Oh my god, that's so good.
So it's so
Oh my
so it's so
gosh.
funny because like in the MMA fights, they're fighting and they're like, he's setting up for the shot. Here it comes. Oh, he just sunk that shot. And then the dude gets knocked out. And then they switch to the golf, and you just hear Joe Grogan. Oh, what a shot! What a shot!
Oh my god, that's actually pretty awesome.
Absolutely hysterical. I don't send you a ton of those things, and I definitely sent you that one for you
Oh,
to check it
that's-
out. It's
Holy
hysterical.
crap, that's so good.
Sorry to kick us. I know my job to take us off course as always.
Yeah, you got the pitchforks coming for you tonight on this
Hey,
episode.
I mean, wouldn't be the first, won't be the last.
yeah, they'll be used to it.
I had another joke there, and we're gonna leave that one off camera.
Yeah. Let's do that. Even this thing is going red, being like Danny. This one made me really happy. I didn't have like a ton of technical stake in it. Like, there's certain movies we talk about. There's so much that goes into making them that you just like, it would be a shame to not talk about. Like when we did The Outsiders, there was a lot that went into making that, between the casting, getting S.E. Hinton involved, the fact that Coppola was filming rehearsals on digital video camera, and that was like unheard of at the time. This one didn't have as much like technical nuance that I needed to learn. Everything that I got from this was solely some sort of like emotional or like social parable. I found so many different things to assess in terms of like, we were talking about the comedy thing. Like, I'm guilty of taking myself serious, like too serious sometimes. Me, everything I do, my art, everything I do, it's way too serious. And that's why for me, comedy is such a relief, because it's like, I don't ever try to be funny. So it's not like a thing that I think of that I'm like, oh, I got to be funny. I got to like light the room up. It's like, that's not my lane. So I can just like get lost in comedy. And so this one, it was easier to look at it with a bigger lens of like, what is the storytelling? What are we getting from these characters? And what is like the context of these situations? Obviously it's absurdist, obviously it's audacious, but there is something to grasp from it, which I thought was really cool.
It's that everything in life is absurd.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with that, I would like you guys to kind of give me your final piece in 1 to 2 sentences and give me your Letterboxd rating, if that's cool.
My Letterboxd rating is a 3. I think it is an enjoyable movie to sit down and watch. I do think that the humor could be a little dry sometimes on some ends, but that is that particular type of humor. But overall, it is an enjoyable movie. Definitely one I could sit down and watch again.
Okay. I felt like you were like somebody had a gun to your head when you did that. You were like, it is a very enjoyable movie to sit down and watch. It is a movie that has entertainment in it, and I enjoy it. Please,
It's like he's reading the ransom note.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my job back, guys. I'm trying to get my job.
I'd give it a 3.5. I actually really enjoy that kind of British dry humor. It takes a lot for, especially comedy, for me to be like, I don't like that comedy. I like anything. I like anything from like silly Adam Sandler to British comedy. I thought it was a really cute movie. It had me laughing out loud a good couple of times. And again, the actors in it were just super iconic, and I just loved, I love Zooey Deschanel. She's one of my favorite actresses out there. And of course, Alan Rickman. Like, how can you not love him?
Don't come to film club if you don't like Alan
That's right.
Rickman.
But very, very enjoyable, and I definitely would recommend to anyone who would ask me about it.
I love. Oh, did you give your rating though?
3.5.
Okay, hell yeah.
Not much higher than mine.
You said a 3 though, right?
Yeah.
So it's still higher.
Not much.
I'm going to be a bit biased here because of my love for the United Kingdom and British people in general, but I'm giving it a 5 out of 5.
Woo! Okay. A
And
5 out of
also-
5, dude.
Jessica Ashcroft universe, I'm coming back for you, so chill the fuck out.
Let's go. We got a 5 out of 5. Sam,
And we're gonna head out
you
back,
know the drill.
and
you
we're
give
gonna
this out
go
of
head
5
out to
stars?
CODY out in the field.
I'm giving it a 4. I think it's clever dialogue in the movie. I think a lot of it is stuff that goes over people's heads. That's why they're not finding it humorous. But it's a clever, sharp movie. And then obviously after I read the book, I saw how real sharp it is too. So yeah, 4. I'm giving it a 4.
I love that. I think that's a pretty good consensus in the room. We got 3, 3.5, 5, and 4. I love it.
If you'd like to find out what his rating is, do you know where you can find that?
On Letterboxd. So I am going to go through a random Letterboxd review for this week. We skipped it last week. I forget. We skipped it last week because we didn't have one that we were doing like a themed episode. That's why. But
you just didn't really feel like you had one to like
yeah,
for the, which I'm okay with.
But now I do, and I kid you not, when I say this review, I say this with no like over abashedness. So the movie that I'm gonna cover, that I covered recently on Letterboxd, that I just watched, is the movie from 1977 called Sorcerer. Ooh, okay.
I think you just hit one that probably nobody here knows at the moment.
This is a highly underrated thriller from William Friedkin, who did The Exorcist. And the reason that it was so like missed for so long is because in 1977, another movie came out that was the launch of one of the most popular movie franchises of all times, this little thing called Star Wars. So at the time, William Friedkin is one of the biggest directors in Hollywood. That's the one. One of the biggest directors in Hollywood, has already done The Exorcist, has already done The French Connection, and is now getting the most money that he's ever been given to make a film. That's where we stand with Sorcerer. So I'm reading my review from my Letterboxd, just so you guys know I'm not fucking around. This is one of the best movies I've ever seen, without a doubt. Like, I would put this in like top 100 movies I've ever seen. Sorcerer is a movie that is the reason the term thriller exists. This movie like accentuates a thriller. It starts out a bit convoluted. The storytelling device is a little complicated at first, but it patches itself up together really quick. So it starts a bit convoluted, but when you finally get to put the pieces together, it's a phenomenal adventure amidst some like really challenging characters. It's like a bunch of not good people who you hope have a good outcome. And there were moments that I kid you not, I was watching this in my living room, and there was literally moments that I was on the edge of my seat, like catching my breath, watching what is happening and being like, oh man, dude, this is crazy. Like, no way are they going to pull this. And it's like, and it's crazier because then you learn about it and you learn that most of the shit was practical. And so it's even crazier. And like the last thing I wrote, and I feel like some of you guys will get this for me, I started watching this at midnight and I did not doze off once. That's how exciting this movie was. I had picked it up on 4K in a previous Criterion, the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale back in November. I picked it up then, so I got it half off, and I just like hadn't made, it's a little over 2 hours, so it's a little longer one. So I hadn't found time to watch it, but I had time this weekend, and I kid you not, one of the best movies. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Sorcerer, just like, cannot say enough good about how exciting that was.
I got to be honest with you. and you said the name of the title of the movie,
Yeah.
and I just looked it up, and I just read the plot line for it.
Has nothing to do with what you thought it did.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Not even
Right?
close. I thought it was
I'm
going to
telling
be
you.
some magical, mystical
Just watch the
dragons.
No, exactly. It has no.
Not even close.
Without spoiling anything, Sorcerer is literally just the name of the vehicle that they make for their mission. That's what it comes down to. I don't want to say too much, but yep. Yeah, it's a banger of a cast.
Like I said, I'm just interested.
You got
for
Roy Scheider. That's what we were just from, Jaws.
Yep.
So he's one of the four.
I was just interested originally because like I like mystical and like those kind of like movies and stuff. Like I was a huge big. I mean, not was. But I still am a big like Game of Thrones fan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking it was going to be something along that lines, and then when I read the plot line, I was like, I want to know how this ends now.
Yeah. It's like I love movies, and obviously like I get amped up about shit, but like this is the most I've been excited about a movie in a while. Like I just can't, like I just keep looking for people that have seen it to talk about it with, because it was just like, wow, like I can't believe. And then you find out that like because it did so bad in theaters when it came out, even though it got great reviews, it basically got like shelved, and there was like no way to see it for a long time. And Friedkin had to fight for like decades to get like a DVD home release of it eventually. And he was working on the 4K release before he passed away, and Criterion eventually like stepped in and put out a phenomenal package. So yeah, Sorcerer, 1977, William Friedkin, 4.5 stars. One of the best movies I've watched in a long time, without a doubt. Speaking of watching movies, though, as we always do when we close out the show, we like to drop some local or some regional or some national screenings and event listings. And yeah, I was going to go into some big explanation like you guys don't know what showtimes for movies are. But I think I'll save you the speech, and we'll tell you where to get your tickets to the next movie.
So we'll start off with Sunday.
Sorry, I'm just one more thing. I should note these first two, when this episode airs, you guys will have missed these, but this is for all of us that are still here and the people at the bar and everything like that. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Because I actually was just looking at that exact thing, and I was like,
yeah,
oh, this will be next Tuesday, and this will be the Sunday.
It's too good to not.
Like,
yeah.
Absolutely. So we got Sunday, April 26th. We The Silence of the Lambs 35th anniversary, presented by Fathom Entertainment at theaters nationwide, with a psychopath named Buffalo Bill murdering women and believing it takes one to know one. The FBI sends agent Clarice Starling, played by Jodie Foster, to interview a demented prisoner, Dr. Hannibal Lecter, played by Anthony Hopkins, a cannibalistic psychiatrist whose fascination with the young agent is as great as his hunger for murder. As their relationship develops, Starling is forced to confront not only her own demons, but also an evil so powerful she may not have the courage to stop it. If you live in our area of southern New Hampshire or in Massachusetts, there are screenings that day in AMC and Tigsboro and Methuen, Apple Cinemas and Merrimack and Hooksett, Showcase Cinema in Lowell and Woburn, Cinemark in Salem, New Hampshire, and plenty other theaters as well. Go to fathomentertainment.com to find a screening near you.
Yeah, I got the next two, and I'll explain why in a second. Tuesday, April 28th, Princess Mononoke special one-night screening. The English dubbed version is being presented by Red River Theaters in Concord, New Hampshire. For one night, you can witness the breathtaking fantasy epic from legendary filmmaker Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli. When a young warrior journeys into a mystical forest to break a deadly curse, he finds himself caught in a fierce battle between the forces of industry and the spirits of the natural world, led by the mysterious, wolf-raised Princess Mononoke. And Friday, May 8th, Empire Records movie night party and screening presented by Boston Landing at Roadrunner in Boston, Massachusetts. At Roadrunner.
Fucking love Roadrunner.
This is my fiance's favorite movie of all time. So
that's why you snagged it. I know. Yeah. I know you had a reason.
I haven't even had a chance to talk to her about this. I shared it with her on like a post, but I don't think she read it. So so this is presented by Boston Landing. It's going to be at Roadrunner. Boston Landing Movie Night featuring Empire Records kicks off the 2026 movie night series on Friday, May 8th, 2026 with a full 90s alt-rock takeover at Roadrunner. Get ready for the cult classic film, throwback music, and a night that would make Rex Manning proud. At 5 o'clock, the pre-party begins. They kick off the night with a live DJ spinning iconic 90s grunge and alternative rock hits. Enjoy a full cash bar, food available for purchase, and complimentary popcorn while supplies last. Expect immersive throwback moments throughout the venue, inspired by the raw, music-driven spirit of the era. Come dressed in your best 90s alt-rock look and fully lean into the nostalgia. 7 o'clock, the movie screening starts. Settle in for Empire Records, the cult classic that captured the angst, humor, and unforgettable soundtrack of the 90s alternative scene. This is a 21-plus event. General admission is free, but advanced registration through Eventbrite is required. Seating for general admission is first come, first served.
Friday, May 15th, a New Leaf 55 anniversary 4K restoration presented by Cinematograph Films. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Cinematograph. You were
Cinematograph.
Close.
Thank you. Cinematograph Films at the IFC Center. That's 323 6th Avenue, New York, New York. This is the first theatrical run of the
Cinematograph's 4K
Cinematograph 4K restoration of this 70s critical success. A New Leaf is a 1971 American black comedy film written and directed by Elaine May in her directorial debut, based on the short story The Green Heart by Jack Ritchie. And it stars May along with Walter Matthau, Jack Weston, George Rose, and James Coco.
So I'm gonna
do it.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna take over.
Yep.
So we're filming this on a Wednesday, so the timing will be a little off. But yesterday was Elaine May's 94th birthday. So I haven't seen A New Leaf yet, but Elaine May directed one of my favorite movies, which is called Mikey and Nikki, which I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah. Mikey and Nikki is another movie I recommend everybody watch at least once. It's got John Cassavetes in it. It is a phenomenal. Peter Falk is in it too. It's just a phenomenal story. And that's how I discovered Elaine May. And she has an extensive catalog of directing and acting as well.
Okay.
And so that's where this 55th anniversary of A New Leaf comes into play. So Cinematograph did a 4K restoration of this and is now screening it for the first time.
And this is one of hers that you haven't seen?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But just like Walter Matthau ended up like, it's funny, the thing I always remember him for, which probably sucks for him, but is Dennis the Menace.
I was just gonna say. Wasn't he in Grumpier Old Men?
Yep. So in A New Leaf, in this film, a New York City playboy, Henry Graham, has run out of money. He decides to find a wealthy bride. He finds the shy heiress, Henrietta Lowell. He takes control of her finances after the wedding and fires her dishonest staff. He carefully plans to poison her, but even in his own best laid plans go awry.
We've got Friday, May 22nd, I Love Boosters theatrical premiere in theaters nationwide, including one of your favorites, the Coolidge Corner Cinema in Cambridge, Massachusetts. In the return of Boots Riley, nearly 8 years removed from his highly lauded Sorry to Be Bothered You, I Love Boosters follows a crew of professional shoplifters who take aim at a cutthroat fashion maven, starring an all-star cast including Keke Palmer, Don Cheadle, Demi Moore, Taylor Page, and more.
June 5th, there's going to be Train Spotting 4K screenings nationwide presented by Sony Pictures Classic. Set in an underbelly of Edinburgh, the city's fathers never dreamed of, Train Spotting is the story of Mark and his so-called friends, a bunch of losers, liars, psychos, thieves, and junkies. Hilarious but harrowing, the film charts the disintegration of their friendship as they proceed, seemingly, inevitably, towards self-destruction. Mark alone has the insight and opportunity to escape his fate, but then again, does he really want to choose life? I am thrilled to go see that. Train Spotting's crazy.
And it'll be fun to go see. The next one, 2 days after you perform at the Little Wayne and 2 Chainz show. So Sunday, July 5th, we've got Citizen Kane, the 85th anniversary, presented by Fathom Entertainment at theaters nationwide. A boy abandoned by his parents, inherited a fortune, builds a global newspaper empire, and aspires to become president of the United States. But he loses everything over an affair with an untalented nightclub singer. This fascinating story unfolds through the eyes of the people important to the tycoon, each showing a different aspect of Citizen Kane. And the special 85th anniversary release includes exclusive insight from Leonard Maltin. If you live in our area of Southern New Hampshire or in Massachusetts, there are screenings that day at the AMC in Methuen, Apple Cinemas, and Merrimack and Hooksett, Showcase Cinema in Woburn, Cinemark in Salem, New Hampshire.
I have to interject. It's Woburn.
Woburn.
Thank you.
Woburn.
I let it slide a couple times, but it's Woburn. People from Woburn are gonna kill us, dude.
Yeah, don't let me say any other words there either, because they'll kill me. What was that? Worcester? What's next? We're gonna go to Haverhill?
Oh gosh.
And plenty other theaters as well. Go to fathomentertainment.com to find a screening near you.
And lastly, the last two, Friday, July 17th, the Odyssey is going to be having its theatrical premiere, and you could see it in 70 millimeter at the Coolidge Corner Cinema in Brookline, Massachusetts. The Odyssey is a mythic action epic from the master of cinema, Christopher Nolan, shot across the world, bringing Homer's foundational saga to screens, starring Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, Zendaya, and Charlize Theron. There's honestly there's not a lot about that, but it's like, I just imagine it's going to be phenomenal, and seeing it on 70 millimeter is crazy, because that means there's only going to be like maybe a dozen theaters in the country, and the fact that we have one in Brookline is so, we're so lucky. And as we've been mentioning, don't forget about the New Hampshire Film Festival, October 15th through the 18th throughout downtown Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Submissions are still open. The New Hampshire Film Festival is an annual fall event located in Portsmouth, New Hampshire that unites professional filmmakers, screenwriters, and film industry experts with film lovers. Drawing thousands of attendees annually, NHFF is the region's premier film festival and is an integral resource for local and national industry professionals who return each year. Movie Maker magazine named the New Hampshire Film Festival on its annual list of 50 film festivals worth the entry fee, celebrating festivals that serve movie makers and audiences in some of the best destinations in the world. For more details on that, check out nhfilmfestival.com. And before we head out of here, we're going to cover some of our favorite theaters. And as we always tell you guys, if you have a recommendation of a movie theater that we should check out, both of us are on the road a lot more than just doing these podcasts. And so wherever you're at in the country, email us a theater recommendation so that we have a chance to check it out. You can contact us at hellhoundfilmclub@gmail.com, or now you can go to hellhoundfilmclub.com. And either place you go to, you can get a hold of us and let us know what's up. So some of the theaters that we love to shout out right now include the Coolidge Corner Cinema in Brookline, Massachusetts. The Coolidge Corner Theater is New England's most successful independent nonprofit cinema. Built as a church in 1906, it was redesigned as an Art Deco movie palace in 1933 and has never closed its doors to the public since then. Located in the heart of Brookline, Massachusetts, it was the community's first movie theater and now a nonprofit foundation since 1989. It celebrates the experience of cinema by presenting the finest international, documentary, animated, and independent film selections and series.
And as always, we will be shouting out the Brattle Theater in Cambridge, Massachusetts. The Brattle shows the best in classic, cutting-edge, foreign, and art house films. We also show first-run films and new releases of classic films. But our specialty is I definitely don't know that word.
Repertory.
Oh, I do know it. I just didn't know how to spell it. Interesting. Thank you. I learned something new today.
I copied some of that from their website. That's why it's in first person. That's my bad.
Okay, because I definitely, when I said we also show, you notice I paused for a second. Yeah. I wish I showed.
I write the shit, so I'm used to just knowing how to drive through it.
Well, I believe that. Programming format consisting of films from a particular director, genre, or subject shown over the course of a week and on the same weekday throughout the month. Movies have been shown at the Brattle since 1953 when Brian Halliday and Cyrus Harvey Jr. started things off with a screening of a German film. Good luck on that.
The Captain from Kopanik.
Oh, you're not going to give us the German version?
I'm okay with that.
Halliday and Harvey later found the Janus Films for the purpose of distributing foreign films nationwide. Now, I do have to just pause for a second.
Yeah.
I do have to say I was super lucky last Friday to experience the Brattle Theater for the first time. Was super lucky. I actually got to see Fern Gully in 35 millimeter. Now, I grew up as a massive fan of Fern Gully, and I will tell you right now, that theater brought the little kid of me out. I was singing my heart out to the songs. I am almost positive. No, I know I'm positive. The very first word that was said in the entire movie, I spoke it at the exact moment the movie started, like in sync. And I just looked, I was just like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. But the Brattle Theater gave me an experience I was not expecting. Due to the fact, the way that's been talked about and the things that have been mentioned about how they have a 35 millimeter collection and they have this and they have that, I was definitely expecting, I would say, a more high-end theater. I got what I was hoping for. Nice little small theater. You walked in.
Yeah, it's been tastefully restored.
There was a small little concession stand. I love the fact that they sold Mexican Coke on fountain. That was amazing. It made my whole day. But then you go up the stairs and it's a little small theater with a little balcony. Like, it was a really great experience. I absolutely loved it. I will definitely be making trips down there more often.
Right.
And I want to say thank you for introducing it to me and giving me the opportunity to learn about it and then find something that I wanted to go see and be able to have that experience. So I just want to say thank you.
No, man, I appreciate that. I love that. And that's what makes me happy about us doing what we do with this is every week we've done this show, pretty much somebody hasn't seen what we've watched. Everybody that shows up to this has a different viewing experience, and we all figure out new things to do. Like, I always say that music has given me the life that I have, but films have definitely inspired me to go and take that life for what it is. And so, like, I don't know if I'll ever be in a position to make a film, but I can always watch them and take the most out of them with the people that I love. And so the fact that you went and checked out something that we like do on this show is awesome. And I hope more people do that. I hope more people watch these movies. Maybe if you see the thumbnail, watch the movie and then come watch the podcast after. Or if you see a upcoming live event flyer or you get our email or something, make plans with your friends, bring a couple friends down, come get some free popcorn and hang out with us. Like, I just can't say enough about how much the movies have enriched my life. And so thank you for sharing that with all of us, and thank everybody for showing up and letting us keep doing this shit.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that I got it on camera, me thanking you, because after this week, I may not get another chance. So
I will clip this and attach it to your contact in my phone.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Some other great theaters you should check out, though, include the Wilton Town Hall Theater in Wilton, New Hampshire. Originally a silent movie house, the theater has been in operation nearly continuously since 1912. Now they host free movie screenings multiple nights a week. Follow them on Facebook or join their email list for updates on the screenings.
I'm not wearing their hoodie, so you need to take this one.
Well, perfect. 2 weeks in a row. I love it. One of my favorite places on the planet to go is called the Milford Drive-In in Milford, New Hampshire. It's an old-fashioned 2-screen drive-in movie theater with a snack bar and a remote control car track. Originally established in 1958 and has been family-owned and operated since 1969.
Then we've got the Mendon Twin Drive-In Theater in Mendon, Massachusetts. The Mendon Twin Drive-In was built in 1953 and opened June 14th, 1954. A second movie screen was added in 1998 and is now a New England institution, along with one of the top drive-ins in the country, sitting on nearly 16 acres of beautiful tree-lined land.
And I also recommend checking out the Somerville Theater in Somerville, Massachusetts. Somerville Theater is an independent movie theater and concert venue in the Davis Square neighborhood of Somerville, Massachusetts. More than 100 years old, the Somerville Theater started off as a vaudeville house and has since been a movie theater.
I'm going to try this. Canonic in Portland, Maine, a nonprofit micro cinema dedicated to watching films projected on analog format. They preserve and present essential 16 millimeter and 35 millimeter film, screening films on Wednesday at 7 p.m. and on Saturdays at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Visit
Canonic.org.
That's right, baby.
So, fun story about Canonic was I found out about this theater. I found out about this theater through social media. There was like a reel that came up about it, and it's literally a micro theater. It's a room similar to this. They store film reels all on the sides of the room. They have a projector screen and a bunch of fold out chairs. That is the whole setup. And those 2 days of the week they do screenings. So
what we dream to do.
Yeah. So off air, we've talked about, I think you and me have talked about at least, I'm starting to kind of take I love French New Wave and like Breathless and stuff like that. And so now I'm starting to get into more of like the French comedy stuff. And a big name on that is Jacques Tati. So I just picked up a copy of Playtime, and they're actually screening Mon Oncle at Canonic next month. And so you may catch me up in Portland checking out a Jacques Tati movie if I make my way to Canonic. So,
and if you own a venue and you need somebody to perform there,
true.
While we're up there,
let's make a run of it.
Can we make a run out of this, please? You know you don't hate me for it.
Never mind. I'm always working.
Yes, we are. You got Circle, or you want me to grab Circle?
Sure.
All right. We got the Circle Cinema Theater in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which we all know we hold dear to our heart, where The Outsiders opens and was filmed. Circle Cinema first opened in 1928 as a silent movie theater. Over the years, it changed many times, showing all kinds of movies and going through many owners. For a while, the theater was even closed and the building sat empty. In 2002, Clark Wayne, along with the group of supporters, formed the Circle Cinema Foundation to bring the theater back to life. They bought the building and reopened it in 2004 as a nonprofit movie theater. Since then, Circle has grown, added more screens, a bigger lobby, and even brought the original 1928 pipe organ back. That's wild,
right? And lastly is the Admiral Twin Drive-In, also in Tulsa, Oklahoma, featured in The Outsiders. The Admiral Twin Drive-In is a historic movie theater located just off Route 66 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that has been showing movies since 1951 and has been host to many local events, including being one of the featured locations in previous Hellhound Film Club episode, The Outsiders, from director Francis Ford Coppola. So as we mentioned, if you guys have any event or theater recommendations or anything of the special screenings, anything like that, anywhere in the planet, send us an email at Hellhound Film Club. We would be happy to share that with people. And what do you say? Let's you want to call it? It's been a good one.
It has. It's been a great one, man. It always is. That's why we do this every week.
Yeah. Thank you guys all so much for being here tonight. This was a blast.
That's why I used to do it every week.
We had a good run.
It was a good run. I did look back, actually. I counted it up. It was this was episode 14 for us.
Oh, man, you almost made it to 15. Damn.
I know. Man, couldn't get past the 14 marker, I guess.
Well, we had a good run, though. Hope you guys enjoyed it, too.
Yeah. And, guys, don't forget, all right, thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Hellhound Publishing, and subscribe to our newest channel, the Hellhound Film Club, dedicated to the show, as well as bonus clips, exclusive bonus episodes, interviews, and more. Those subs and comments really take us places.
Also, consider being a part of our Patreon community for just $1 a month, exclusive and early access to Hellhound Film Club, as well as all the other podcasts, music, and book releases from Hellhound Publishing. Since 2018, you can join for just $1. We've been on there for that long. You'll get just that $1 a month will get you access to all of that back catalog of stuff and early access to everything that's coming out. So, frame of reference, this episode is probably going to be up on Patreon tomorrow, as where if you're watching it on YouTube, you had to wait almost a week. So just get involved. You know what I'm saying? It's $1 a month. Support us. That money's going to go to help us make this show better. Maybe we'll have multiple camera angles one day. Maybe we'll have a mixer that can have multiple microphones one day. Maybe we'll have the same lighting setup every week. Who knows? But all it takes is just $1 a month to save these poor movie nerd puppies like us. Visit www.patreon.com/Hellhound Publishing or check out the banner below.
And don't forget, you can join us here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. at The Spot in downtown Nashua, New Hampshire, for our free movie screening and live recording of these episodes. That's Wednesday nights at 217 Main Street, Nashua, New Hampshire. Come on down, watch a flip, grab a drink, eat well with friends, and
don't forget the popcorn.